What if a fear suddenly descended on modern Australia? Can he kill the entire food chain and dominate this continent again? At this moment, the place of responsibility in Australia's Northern Territory National Park, it's always 30 kilometers long and evil. Suddenly, in this river bend that seems to be in crisis, the waterfowl Juxi, as an adult, is so evil that all living creatures can easily crush him. Fayo and his mother, Ikijo 3. The 5-meter-long saltwater evil is staring at Keoksu. I am unknown but guided for 3 months without mercy. But what the mother didn't know was that this dog was not an ordinary happy animal at all. He is afraid of evil, and he used evil skills in vain, standing at the top of the food chain with large dinosaurs as our leader. The top prehistoric chronologist who has been extinct for 66 million years. When he was just born, he was no different from his brothers and sisters. If he was little and helpless, we can only rely on instinct to crawl into the water, which is cruel to modern ecology. Doctors don't know. The danger is never in the dark, but under the water. 30 meters downstream, an undercurrent approaches against the riverbed. The absolute dictator of these waters at that time. The body of one head is often over 6 meters, and it weighs a lot, so that Zazie has been the king for 8 years. Adult male saltwater bug. In the evil laws of reproduction in saltwater, males generally kill and win. For him, the right driver who just got into the water. It's just soft meat that can be swallowed in one bite. Without warning, the shoal was wiped out by water, and a 6-meter-long monster exploded. Like a torpedo bursting out of the water, dissatisfied with Ye's huge mouth. Complete 3 brutal shakes in the lightning, fast time. The crisp sound of the buttocks spraying water and the muffled sound. The 4 right carries had no chance to conduct reconnaissance, so they were swallowed whole. Newswife's gift drips from the shore. But he was frozen in place by a cold look from the raider. I didn't dare to move even an inch. The strong smell of blood lingered under the water. The extreme fear instantly penetrated the nerves that had been filled with fear for many years. He alone understands the truth of this life of looking for blame. He dragged forth thin sticks. This is the iron law that our compatriots have paid for with their lives before the tendency of the original Stark observer is completely awakened. He must completely track the gravity of the situation. He must not be discovered by any adult saltwater hungry. In the first year, his only mission was to stay alive. He had a thorough understanding of Gongler and his 2 inspection tracks in the morning. As long as there is a vibration from the water body, immediately turned into a piece of rotten wood. Even the ups and downs of breathing were suppressed to the extreme, and only Midnight Corner was completely asleep. Only after the tyrant was completely defeated did he dare to carve out the honey stone where he was hiding, shrimp fry in the former water area. In the modern era, Shen Nian didn't want to be provoked by hungry people and returned with water. He used teeth with natural broken dinosaur bone scepter inside. Swallow the specks to pieces like a river towel. Even lying on the edge of the mire. Willing to eat the starved remains, other bone fragments and red meat of those who died in Han Dynasty. It became the core diet of his growth frenzy. Every honey stone is a gamble of life and death. If it burns and cannot be overcome, it will lead to a murderous fight. When the first game was over, 40 eggs were turned upside down again. He is the only survivor left. He also grew from 30 meters to 15 meters. But his telescoping features could no longer be hidden. But his teeth are getting thicker and rougher. Mo Duan wears a thick cracked surface. This is not a fishing expedition to the west. It is the bone fragments that are specially used to break the bones of dinosaurs. His skull no longer has the flattened shape of modern humans. Rather, it is like a container covered with multiple layers of thick armor. The development of this kind of modern hunger. Liu Maigong Evil, who finally let the raw water go, felt instinctively uneasy. When the old uncle is patrolling, he will stop at his hiding place for a long time, killing mussels silently. In the undercurrent of madness, the real hell is Australia's hand mussels. The independent sun transforms the 50-meter-wide river channel, evaporated into a mud puddle with an annual weight of less than 10 meters. That 6-meter-old uncle absolutely monopolized the only central water bomb that destroyed King Yang. Anyone of the same kind who feels close will be broken by him. And the 2-meter-long fear is pushed to the edge. The mud pit of radical lung pain arrived in September, and the water bombs continued to shrink. There is no buffer zone between him and the old uncle. As long as he moves a little, it will lead to the old uncle's crazy plans, and he will be extremely willing to excite evil. He exerted his patience to the extreme, and lowered his heartbeat to the lowest level, suffering under the eyes of the fundraiser, waiting for the mercy of the sky. In late October, violent autumn rain shattered the dead season. The swollen river water filled the Gan River channel. It also filled up the mud shell that trapped him. When fear first opens the hard mud shell and crawls out of hell, the ancient trend body that has survived the limit of life and death has completely broken away from the acceleration in just 3 years since he broke out of his shell. His body length has soared to 5 meters. With 0 salt water, the maximum is only 2.5 meters, and he was just the biggest culprit in the delayed transfer class at that moment. It's enough to make all modern people happy to run away. When he was 10 years old, he had grown to a dangerous length. Weighing over 4 tons, the silent confrontation between him and his old uncle has lasted for several years. The moment of decisive battle has finally come. He swaggered into the old uncle's absolutely miserable place. That Gongler, 12 years after becoming king. Enter countless central ecologies. Gongler, looking at this bodybuilder. The intruder who surpassed him suddenly swerved slightly. It set off a wave as high as one person, like an out-of-control halomban, and came straight towards him. Modern happy and prosperous winds will always lift themselves out of the water first. Deterrence after anger, a fight to the death with 2 losses and heavy injuries in 1 year, meritorious service. I did as I was told, but I was afraid that I would not be grateful for this domineering attitude. He just stayed close to the water coldly, pressing his body as low as possible. It's like a front-tent killing machine that locks onto its prey, after all. His ancestors fought to the death with the dinosaurs in the tree every day. This kind of intimidation is nothing more than child's play. The battle breaks out instantly. Gongla takes the lead. The huge body area suddenly rushed out of the water. Hulong tried to bite him, completing the fatal, but he had no idea what kind of monster he was facing. Marden's saltwater-hungry extreme bite force, about 167 tons, and the genetic power of this adult fear is locked. A 10-ton night duck's distance separates the bones of a year-old dinosaur. No temptation, no deadlock. Fear the enemy and face the charge, accurately avoiding the history of Gongla. A bite bit into his broad skull. Shocked to the bottom, there was a loud cracking sound that was heartbreaking. This is not the sound of broken teeth. It is as hard as bone that the current leader is proud of. In the face of the absolute power of the fire bone, like a fragile wooden board. Complete collapse, depression, and huge pain drove Gongla into madness. He instinctively wanted to perform his signature death roll. But his skull was torn and locked. I didn't even have a chance to twist my body, and I was afraid of being locked into the river. Use the body that is 1 meter long and 4 tons long as a fulcrum. Completed a duck-style death roll with Lao Beiju. The deep water captured by the soul was instantly exploded by dark red. The old striker tried his best to upgrade for the last time. Dragging half of his broken head stove, he ran away madly. Never appeared again. The lessons spread silently in the characters, the old Wang Uen Ruo. This body of water has welcomed its true ruler. He broke the modern law of species competition that has been solidified for thousands of years, directly put the sound save online, pulled to the top 10. Now he no longer has to evade the carry-on. He wants to split and kill the top-splitting creature on this continent. A heavily beaten adult male buffalo with fatally bent legs. He walked into the diving unsuspectingly and had no idea. The rules of sound existence under this water surface has been completely rewritten by the power from the White Raku Festival. Fear is like a silent abyss boulder clinging to the riverbed. It emerged silently and then burst into flames the moment the buffalo bowed its head, bite his entire head with a rough bite. The sound fell into the deep water and the flowers in the mouth exploded. The buffalo's 4 strong crazy lighthouses are all dungeons in deep water. Fear is the absolute master of power, a random roll of death. The buffalo's thick body was completely broken in the muffled sound, you know. At the Bale Festival, his dishes were filled with large and sturdy dinosaurs. The foot kills a modern buffalo, and it doesn't even count the depth of heat. It's been another 5 years. His body size reached nearly 12 meters, and his weight exceeded 8 tons. Completely rewriting the ecological niche ranking of this river basin in northern Australia. When the buffaloes saw him, they ran away like crazy. Modern people are happy to see him and immediately retreat. Even the flying birds follow behind him and lose 10 years of fat. But when he was floating alone under the cold moon of the season, the deep area of Hangda is full of extreme loneliness. On this continent, he can't find his ancient counterpart. There are no kin with whom we can communicate. He is an ancient orphan lost in the long river of time. It is the Bale Festival, the last moment of glory left to the modern world. Until one day, human infrared lenses finally locked onto this pair of an icy tube from 66 million years ago.